this is it. This world. Gonna be a bit quiet, so today's kind of an ASMR kind of stream here. Pretty much what I have here. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. This is my world. It's pretty cool. I built this castle. Now you see we have the cool lava, we have iron bars, we have the cool there, soul lanterns, soul fire going. Now it's still definitely a work in progress, but I just want to show it off. Under here we have moss, just to hide it. It's definitely a work in progress. I'm really proud of it. It looks really good, I think. We have a sniffer. I love sniffers. They're really cool. Get you seeds and everything, so that's nice. I can show you my villager trading hall, but overall this is my world. It's not too big yet, but you know, I'm still working on it. I'm pretty happy with how all my farms are going. I have this iron farm which I kinda made by myself. I'm gonna make it into a building soon. Actually, I'll do that today. Why not? You know, where villagers are staying, and then there's 2 boxes. Produces 3 iron columns. Pretty efficient rates. I use it to make my beacon. I have a sugarcane farm here. Kind of do this just for efficiency. It's okay, you know, it gets the job done. Now I have a creeper farm which I really mix it up because it doesn't really produce when you're just standing there. Now it produces when you're up there, but you know, I don't want it. I have the stasis chambers, then it's always being loaded. I also have it for the iron golem, and then I also have it for this, so it's always being loaded. This is a moss farm. Pretty much what it does is it produces moss automatically. You can use it for decorations if I use it for the moss over there, as I showed you. And you can also just use it for bone meal, but right now I don't need to use it. I'm just showing you the viewer what it looks like. It's really easy, simple mod, simple design. I really enjoyed making it, and I think it's really efficient. You know, it could be bigger, but you know, I would say it's really easily stackable. So if you need a lot of bone meal, sure, but I don't think many people do. Now this is on fire, but it doesn't actually matter. It's just annoying to see. This is a cobblestone farm. For how simple it was, I think in total is about 40 blocks. It's really, really good. We use it as TNT duper, but without using I think something's messed up with it, but it's fine, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, for production rates, I've left it on a lot. It's really good. I use it primarily just to get cobblestone, so then I can use it for... I'm gonna try to make a melon farm. I'm thinking of doing it in this chunk right here. The reason I'm doing it in this chunk is because... Trident guy. Scary. I'll tell you this first. First in the chunk specifically, just then I can have a stasis chamber. So then it's always running, so I can always get materials. But then I can pair it with this, which is my auto village or my auto crop farm. It uses 4 villagers. It's designed by Shulkercraft, and I really like it. Really happy with how much it produces. The one downside is I'm not fully sure if I have to use glass. I just do for the top, but if lightning strikes, that turns into witches. The villagers turn into witches. It has happened before. I just put some lightning rods to see if it stops it. Still hasn't happened yet, another lightning storm, but we'll see. It was not that hard to replace, so that's why I'm fine with it. Here's my villager trading hall. Definitely needs some work. I haven't been here in a while, but mainly because I've just been working on my massive base. Here are all my villagers. And coincidentally, funnel from all the automatic farms from the villager farm just funnels right into this, which is really nice. You can just treat it like this. And that's why I want to build a melon farm right next to it, so then I can also funnel the melons to these villagers. So then I can have, you know, probably should have hidden this stuff. Oh, yeah, I do, never mind. I was playing earlier, so that's fine. But, you know, 3 emeralds, I'd say. And I want to make a pipeline because I have these villagers that buy iron, but I feel like my iron production is just not that high, so I'm kind of, I'm not gonna do it yet. I will eventually, but, you know, for right now I just don't need them, so. Okay, in my previous video I talked about the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. I hope everyone liked that just because, I mean, how could you not, right? It's the best player in the world. Oh, where'd the Trident guy go? Darn it. Oh, found him. Holy crap. There's double? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying to be cautious here just because I have died to them before. Oh my gosh, it's a baby. Wow. I'm just a baby. Freaking careful, babies. I'm cold-blooded killer. Alright. So, holy crap, that's cool. Look at that, it's like a design or something. So yeah, I kind of built up this for the melons, but I'm thinking of building melons here. Not today, not in the stream today, but, you know. I guess this is, you don't really need to see this, snow. But yeah, I put cherry blossoms up there, that's not natural. I put them up there. I just got a second beacon. I'm gonna do a raid soon, you know, that would be good for this stream. I'm just kinda nervous, because I only have 3 totems, and I got that from a woodland mansion over there. This is a mob farm, it doesn't really work very well. But anyway, I don't want to do the raid yet because I'm just kind of scared about it. Okay, so I said previously I wanted to just make this into a building. I really enjoy building normal because, I don't know, he's kind of a basic YouTuber, but, or Minecrafter, but I like it. The simplicity is really nice. What he did is he made his iron farm into like a skyscraper, and I really want to do that. My thoughts about it is that I can't really put a roof over it because I still want to extend this maybe 2 more so that I'm producing 5 iron golems at a time. That's my thought process. So I'm not sure if I want to do it right now, but I'm thinking, okay, it couldn't really hurt just to build some walls. So I think we should build some walls. I have a lot of spare materials. I'm thinking I can just do plain stone. You know, we can go for kind of an industrial look. It's not going to be anything fancy. I think it's just going to be pure stone. But I have a lot of stuff mining out all of this, and this was actually a mountain I can show you. See how it kind of, you know, just kind of cuts off right there. This was a mountain and extended all the way here, but I kind of cut it into a nice little piece of home, I guess. So I'm gonna turn all this stone into, I think just stone bricks. I don't know if this is gonna look good. I'm not sure if I really care too much, but I'm thinking just, you know, put some walls up. You know what I mean? I am scared if it like spawns on top, so maybe I shouldn't do it yet. Yeah, I feel like, okay, I'm not gonna do it yet. How about that? I will not do it yet. What will I do then? That's the question. I think we should maybe go to, I think everyone would like to see nether. We can do some farming for the wither skeletons. Fill up. Let's kill a few more cows. Just so that never want to worry about food in the nether. That's a bad case scenario. I'm sure everyone knows it. Okay, that should be enough. And then this is Freckles. He's a nice kitten. He doesn't have any freckles, that's why I thought it was a good name for him. This iron golem's been trapped here for a few days now. The reason is because I don't like him. His name's Frederick, and he just doesn't talk with the rest of the villagers. So to talk about, well, I think we have double strider. See that? Okay, sorry. I have a soul sand valley, another fortress at the coordinates -500. No, -200, 500. Those are the coordinates. Yes. -500. This is where I get on the Wither Skeleton Skulls, just because anywhere else the raids are just way too slow to really bother with going. So you can see some spawned already. Been here before. So. I do have a smite sword, but it doesn't really matter. Just gonna kill it normally. I wish the raids were better. It's really annoying how slow it is. Nuggets are playing tonight. Nuggets are playing tonight. I'm watching the game right now. Sorry for this multitasking. They're playing against the Philadelphia 76ers, and in a really weird season for the Sixers. Mainly because kind of like, okay, where do they go now? They got this pick. Well, Embiid, yeah, they didn't make the playoffs because they got that really high pick. But Embiid was injured, so it's like, okay, well, we don't fully know. And also, Maxey got a lot better. Okay, so now we have Maxey who's fully developed. And now we have Embiid who's hoping back, but, you know, the thing with Embiid is that he's always been injured his entire career, so you can't ever take him serious. And it's been the same thing this season. Been the same thing with Embiid, you can't really trust him. That's why you just don't know if he exists, right? Is he gonna be here for this game? Is he gonna be there for that game? You can never trust him, which is, I think, the worst trait you can have as a superstar. Consistency is really key, especially just being able to show up to games. And I think a lot of times recently, we let people get away with, oh, well, it's not their fault for getting injured. I think it's people's fault for getting injured. I think there's a lot you can do to prevent it. You know, there's some stuff like the Celtics guys. He's really bad injured. And I think there's stuff like that. I'm forgetting his name. How am I forgetting it? Something like Jokic. What is it? Kevin. I don't know, like, he was on the Celtics. Got injured against the Cavs. Kind of LeBron's fault. Freak injuries like that where you break your leg and you're out for 2 seasons. You can't really control anything like that. I don't know. Maybe don't play as athletic. Don't play, you know, don't play like a risky kind of game. You know? Oh, well, there's skeletons. Cool, not bad. But you know, athleticism is part of the NBA. That's why they're the best, right? So you can't really do it like that. But I think a lot of injuries you can blame people. You know, Jokic got injured. Speak of the devil. I don't want to say it was his fault. It was not his team either. If anyone knows the league, you're talking about what happened. It's somewhat of a review. It's a sophomore or second sophomore season in the NBA. But he was a normal basketball player. He stepped on Nikola Jokic's foot, and then Jokic got a hyperextension, resulting in him being out for the next month, which is really devastating for the Nuggets. It's really interesting for the Nuggets because, well, they've never been without Jokic before, Nikola. So it's really interesting to see if they can hold their own. I think this is why the 76ers game is really important. They had a really bad loss to the Nets, and then their other 2 games were both really close. So it shows, okay, it's somewhat legit. It's somewhat legit. So 76ers. It's in the third. Beats Ingham. We're gonna have to see based off the results of the game who is the real team, right? If the Nuggets can go 50% wins, right? They can go 500 and win just half the games. When Nikola Jokic standing wise and just knowing the strength of the team is there. Without Nikola Jokic, they can hold their own. That'd be amazing to see. I don't think it's realistic. Ultimately, I think it's going to happen. Probably around 4,500, maybe even 400. I haven't tried the strength of maybe it's a tougher schedule. So far, the Nuggets have faced the Cavaliers, the Brooklyn Nets. They're currently facing the Philadelphia 76ers. Their first win, and currently their only win, against who's the team? I forgot who it was against. How am I forgetting? Who was it against? I think it was against Orlando Magic. Yes, against Orlando Magic, they won. You know, and Orlando has been having their own troubles. Kind of interesting because they had a really good season last year. I don't know. It was a really rough start, but Paul and Carroll's been struggling with shooting recently. I'm really impressed with Franz Wagner's game. I don't know what's fully going on. I haven't watched any of their games, so I can't say anything. If anyone does know what's going on, it'd be great to know. Just is a scam. I think he has to. I just feel like it. But currently I'm not against it. Definitely a better team. Brooklyn Nets, so it's really confusing how that's even happening. Then I get it, it was not a back-to-back, but it was, you know, whatever. Maybe they lost the intensity. Ultimately, if the Denver Nuggets, without Nikola Jokic, could go 500, they're in an amazing position, and I think they're going to win the championship. I think they're going to win the championship regardless, but standing is very important to win the West, actually. The West is really top-heavy. Everyone thought the West was going to be really strong this season. You saw the Clippers last season, they were solid. They kind of had a weird burst at the end that got them back into the playoffs. And they fared really well against the Nuggets. Well, they fared okay against the Nuggets. They pushed the Nuggets to 7. Shouldn't have happened, but you know, Nuggets were definitely limited on depth, so you can't fully blame them on that. And you have to give credit where credit is due. Kawhi Leonard played really well that series. I think you have to give him credit where credit's due. But yeah, they're really weak this season. I think they're 6-21 or something like that. I'm not fully sure, but they're definitely weak right now. You know, that's kind of the consequence of making a team that's all, I don't know, 35-year-olds and over. It's just what's gonna happen. Injuries are preventable. They're preventable, but when you get that old, you need time out. It's just your body's really and I guess I'm a hypocrite for saying that. When you get older, I think injuries are not as bad. I think that's just true. I think LeBron's done a great job. I think Curry's done a great job. Durant, solid job. But for the most part, yeah, it's gonna happen. Kawhi Leonard, I think it's kind of one of the biggest things I'm saying. You can prevent injuries. I think Kawhi Leonard's thing, I think it's kind of fraudulent. I don't think it's real. You know, it's kind of blasphemous to say Kawhi Leonard's injuries are fake, but I do think so. I mean, there's a lot of suspicion of what's going on with San Antonio. Maybe currently it's right, but I think generally it seems like Kawhi Leonard just has a general disinterest in basketball. And I think as a result of that, he kind of just sits out. He knows he's a superstar. He knows he's the best on the team. He knows the team owes him, right? I mean, look how much they traded for him and Paul George just to be buddies. Paul George still be buddies. He knows he's not. So he's playing his cards right, and he's sitting there. He's gonna it's not a cool thing to do. And I think he's not a he's been paid $50 million. And the farthest they've got to is second round playoffs. Maybe I'm wrong. injuries, injuries, whatever. I think why am I faking it? James Harden. James Harden with that hamstring. I've talked to a trainer before. We'll go down to training. He says the best way to prevent the injury of the hamstring is jogging. I'm not sure if Harden's been jogging. I'm not gonna say anything definite, but I think for most people could assume that, yeah, he probably hasn't been jogging that much. Remember the fat photos? He's much for cardio. Maybe he's, you're a basketball player, maybe you get paid, maybe you are preventable. Not all injuries is your fault, but I think a lot of the time it can be prevented, or at least lessened to intensity. Like Steph Curry and his ankle issues, right? Everyone kind of questioned when Steph first got his. When Steph came into the league, he's really small, he's really skinny, and he's had a lot of injuries, and he did have a lot of injuries. But recently, anyway, it showed a lot of time to your body. You can absolutely extend your career beyond this before believed to be possible. And that comes with proper nutrition, and I would say maybe back in the 90s, the 60s, back in the old days, that wasn't possible. Now every NBA player is a multi-millionaire. Not do that, right? There's no reason not to. Maybe you can't afford a cryo chamber, second stool. Cryo chamber, everything you need to preserve your body. It's just whether or not you care enough, or whether or not you want to, right? It seems like every year you get paid another $20 million if you just get a contract almost. Right now, let's get these guys Steph Curry had a really bad year, but then he made his stronger. He got ankle braces to support him, and overall, he took the proper necessary steps to prevent injury. I think LeBron's a good example too. Now, he's had like a few injuries, but not big. For how long did he prevent it? You can't really say anything. Right? For how long LeBron James' career has been, you just can't really say that he's had any really. But anyway, he's taking great care of his body. Everyone knows that. I think there was a stat that he spends $500,000 each year on his body. That comes to me. Every NBA player makes that much money. I think it's just an NBA player does not make that much money. I'm pretty sure. Minimum veterans is $500,000. I'm pretty sure. No, it's $1.5 million. Bruce Brown's on veterans contract, and he gets paid multi-millions, right? So everyone has the money there. The dedication. LeBron has sacrificed a lot to be where he's at. Maybe we could talk about the GOATs. Who do you think the GOATs are? Now, for the past, I don't know, 6 months, a year, I've been thinking, LeBron's probably the GOAT. Yeah, he's probably the GOAT. And I think that's because an influence from all the previous, or from all the current LeBron Blaze, I guess you could call it. A lot of people, especially Gen Zers, a lot of young people, which is most people on the internet, all claim LeBron James is the GOAT. And I used to think that way too. And I know why, and I still kind of give credit where credit's due. I don't think there is ever someone possible, a GOAT in basketball. I don't think it's impossible. And I don't think it is. You know, it's pretty difficult to be the best, especially in a sport as diverse as basketball. You can kind of see, like, I don't know, look back to Messi, right? Jeez Louise, I gotta find a place to dig. Hold on. Look at, like, Messi versus Ronaldo. And no one can really decide. I mean, I guess, not any sports, you can't decide. Sorry, so, no sports can really decide, I think. But I don't think LeBron is better than MJ. Primarily for a few reasons. I think the first is the most obvious, which is accolades. Right? I think MJ definitely has LeBron beat on accolades. It shows his dominance in the league. And I think, I'm going to pause the game here. The whole point of greatness, comparatively, is talking about how, compared to everyone else in the league, they're the most dominant. Right? Now, was LeBron ever the most... LeBron was... Yeah, no doubt LeBron was the most dominant in the league during his time, right? No doubt. But how... I guess... how much more dominant was he than the next best player, right? When you go back to when he was first in the league as a rookie, and he brought his bum team to the finals against the San Antonio Spurs. This kind of goes into my next thing, but he took a bum team and all the way to the finals. That was really impressive too. A lot of the talent was in the West. You have to say, okay. A lot of the talent was in the West. So Jordan, for LeBron, he kind of avoided finding the best players, but he got lucky a little bit. But, you know, you're always gonna get lucky. Okay. You're always gonna get lucky, so I'm not gonna say anything about that. He got really lucky by doing that. I think, you know, it's a really good look. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so lucky. It looks really good when you're, I don't know, how old he was, 20 years old, 23 years old, and you bring your entire team to the finals. It's really impressive, and LeBron has an amazing ability to carry his team. I mean, there's very few people in the world who can entirely bring a team to the finals, right? Very few people. It's really impressive to be able to do that, just through playmaking ability and stuff like that. But anyway, maybe it could be the argument for why LeBron is better. Maybe I'm defeating my own purpose. I'm just looking over here. But what was he saying? He's never the most dominant. In his time, compared to the rest of the league, LeBron was to the next best player during his time. There's no doubt he's good, but he's definitely not the best. That's a fair thing to say. Balance. And I don't think you can just do that. I think that'd be wrong. But I have to say, when you're comparing you should not be considering entire career. Is that right to say? I don't know. Oh my god, wait, hold on, I'm trying to... Okay, sorry, it's just... Maybe I'm wrong on some of these things. I feel like I am. Okay, so I think LeBron's longevity is a really big argument for him being the GOAT. I feel like this is kind of a dumb argument to say someone is the best, because he's never really been the best. Like, he's never been super duper great for super duper long. He's just been good for a very long time. Not super duper. MJ was super duper good for a shorter time. Well, LeBron has just been good for, and this is kind of like just based off degrees. He's been good for an okay amount of time, right? So, and I think it's kind of dumb just to only factor in LeBron's longevity for his career, because ultimately he has less accolades, right? 4 more years, right? That's where MJ beats LeBron. He beats him in accolades. He beats him in finals wins too. I think the quality of MJ's wins are better. I get he was playing against probably weaker competition. That's admitted. But I mean, compared to everyone else in his time, we're going to be looking back in 50 years, right? And the players are going to be still a lot better. So, is LeBron going to be removed from the GOAT conversation? I don't think he should. I think he's clearly more dominant. I guess. Then we can go into Bill Russell to go next time, right? Which I don't think would be fair. In his time... Oh gosh, can I just reset here? Okay. MJ has better accolades, he has better final wins, and... let's talk about LeBron's finals record. Famously, he's 4-6. He has 4 championships and 6 losses. He's made it to the finals 10 times. That in itself is an amazing feat, and can only really be rivaled by, I guess, Robert Horry, but mainly Bill Russell and the Celtics crew. Not a lot of people can really compare, I guess you could say. Very few can compare, relatively. However, I think those 6 losses, you have to talk about at least 3 of them, or 2 of them, I can't remember. The first one, I think the biggest one, which is just, I think the biggest stain on his career, which I'm not sure he should factor in, right? Is the 2011 against Dallas Mavericks. I have to say, it's for superstar like him, probably the most embarrassing loss ever. Maybe there's something else. Super devastating to LeBron, I think. Especially when you're losing to Dirk Nowitzki, who has had a single other All-Star on his team. Now, Dirk and the Mavericks were not bums, but compared to the Heat, they were definitely not the best. They were not the favorites. No one thought. And clearly that Mavericks team was very strong. I mean, you see the opponents they beat Kobe, Portland, you know. It was a blood. He didn't get that easily. It came with a lot of effort, and clearly it shows that, okay, that team's very experienced, it's very good, they know what they're doing, right? You have to give credit to the Mavericks, they were a solid team. But LeBron should have won that. And because he did not win that, and combination with other losses, you can't really consider him great. He lost to Dirk Nowitzki with a flu. Holy crap, what? How did the Dynamite? You know, Dirk Nowitzki had the flu. He had 38-year-old Jason Kidd. He had all these old people on his team. No one was in their prime. He was past his prime himself. He was well past it, and he was doing 4 years started from his MVP season and overall peak. As far as the Mavericks, they were not the way they used to be, and they were not the team that was really destined to win a championship. Really thought they would. And yet, LeBron loses to them. Well, I think the key takeaways about LeBron's personality, right? And which is kind of why I'm like, say he's not a competitor sometimes. Not fully sure if this is true, but I don't like on the Lakers how he's always yelling at his team. And I guess, you know, he carries his team, so he has a right to. I guess. But I feel like he's kind of the reason for his own lack of success. Maybe it's not his fault that GM always is so bad, but maybe it is. I mean, he's kind of the GM if you think about it. I'm not sure if that's fully true, but whatever. There's a lot of memes of, you know, the GM, LeBron trading to the Knicks, or I don't know, the Charlotte Hornets. He definitely has a say on who makes the team, who doesn't, right? I mean, look at Bronny, right? I don't know how Bronny got there. Definitely wouldn't have made it normally. Congrats to him, he just got a season high in the G League for 20 points. That's good to see for him. Good growth. He's clearly a basketball player. You know, it's just normally he wouldn't get that opportunity for a skill level, right? But I think we can see the clip where he's with D Wade, right? And they're mocking Dirk for being sick, right? Which I think is a really cool thing to do. Sickness is, I guess it's kind of like injuries, but you know, when you get the flu, a lot of the time, it comes out of nowhere. Even if you get the flu shot, you can still get the flu. So it's definitely a lot harder to prevent sicknesses than injuries. And they're mocking Dirk, you know, making fun. However, the Mavericks were able to rally against this amazing super team and defeat LeBron. I don't know how LeBron really allowed that to happen. I think it shows kind of a lack of maturity. I think a lack of competitiveness allowing him to lose, you know. You gotta pick up the next, right? And he just, you know, he never picked it back up. He totally let it slip away, and I don't think a true competitor would be able to do that. Okay. Next finals loss for LeBron. I'm gonna say, well, okay, let's just go over the next 2 rings he gets. He gets 1 ring from a baby OKC Thunder, which I don't think should really. I don't know. Another thing is LeBron's victories are just not that great. He has 1 good one. The rest you can all kind of put an asterisk. The biggest video of any championship ring ever, like Nikola Jokic's 2023 ring, that was against the 8th seed Miami Heat, which were like actually 7th seed, but you know, whatever. They were playing team, they were not good, and they just got really lucky. So you know, you can't control your opponents. You shouldn't. You can't choose who your opponents are, right? But you can choose how you play against them. And Jordan played against them very well. He never went to Game 7. But you know, you can also use that against it, and it's, you know, LeBron couldn't choose it, and he had to go against the 2017 KD Warriors, right? So you can't choose who they are. You gotta play with what you got. So he beat the OKC Thunder. You can't really say it, but you can say, okay, it's not a really strong ring. It's a ring, no doubt, but not super strong. You know. Then you also have the San Antonio Spurs, which is a great win for LeBron. However, I think you have to be honest. 23 seconds left on the shot. 23 seconds left, right? LeBron takes a shot, and he absolutely clanks it. To me, that doesn't seem very clutch. Maybe he is super clutch, I don't know. A lot of people say he's the most clutch player in the league. I think that's just more based on his volume. You know what I mean? Rather than his actual clutchness. I think Jordan does shine bigger in the bigger moments, and I think LeBron kind of fades away. You can also see that again with the Dirk. I hate going back to it, but you know, I think LeBron had 4 points in the 4th quarter against Dirk in multiple games. you know, it's shows maybe LeBron's just kind of weak. I don't know, not a true competitor. Okay, and then you can go back. Okay, sorry. So we're back to the what it would be the 2013 championship. He beats the Spurs. Ray Allen saves his butt. Right? He clanks the three, and Ray Allen saves the game. So then they go into overtime, and they won a great ring. I think that was a great win for them. I think that should add to his career. Okay, and then last but not least, he loses against San Antonio. Well, that's kind of interesting. Well, it was such a good team. Well, yeah, I mean, was the Bronze team not that good? I mean, Chris Bosh, D-Wade, etc., Birdman, I don't know. Pretty good team, if you ask me. Jeez, you can just keep talking and talking and talking into Mike. You wouldn't even realize it. Oh, I ran out of hunger. Let's make some signs. Okay. Let's make some signs. Reasons why Jordan over LeBron. Okay. Gonna need some more signs here. Okay. Number one. What did we say? It was accolades. 2. Wins and quality. Plus their losses. No, sorry. So I'm not gonna say wins. Because I don't know. Quality. And then last but not least, I don't know, I think that's it. That's all I can think of right now. Okay, so accolades, right? MJ has more accolades. MJ has more. It shows his dominance over the league 4 more time than LeBron, right? Maybe LeBron's been good, but has he ever been the best that much? According to the accolades, no, but maybe you can say the accolades are fake. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Then wins and losses. You go to 2011 Mavs. Sick Dirk. Super team. Then you have the San Antonio Spurs. And then you can also say, well, okay, Baby Thunder, Ray Allen saved. And then you can also say Mickey Mouse ring. And the Mickey Mouse ring, you know, I think there's some people say, oh, the bubble's the hardest thing ever. Well, I don't think that's true. Why do I not believe this? Overall, everyone played a lot better in the bubble. You can see it with all the random players just shooting the lights out and the insane amount of increased game winners. I don't think the bubble's harder, and I think especially the bronze team greatly benefited from it. I mean, look at them; they're all really old. I talked about earlier how, you know, injuries are somewhat inevitable when you're old. For this reason, I think that because this old head team just got 3 extra months of rest, I don't think it's a coincidence they played really well. But I think if it weren't for that, they would have all been injured, and I don't think LeBron gets that ring. And he won't get another ring ever, which is Is it sad to see? I don't think it's sad to see. But I don't think Luka's a winning player. I think Luka and LeBron are really similar. I don't think they're winning players. I think they have great stats, but I don't think they're winning players. I don't think so. I don't know. Just trying to be quiet. But, why do I not think they're winning player? I'm just gonna cut it. It's just cut it. Yeah.